Hello, and welcome to Volume 1 of Philosophy Cafe. I'm Bronson Walker, the founder of the Regicide Collective, and this is a show about optimistic philosophy, thinking about ways we can be more open-minded, and thinking about ways we can be a positive force on the planet we live in. Today's episode is about stigma. It's called belief. In our current age, with infinite information at our fingertips, our minds often take the easiest path when categorizing all of the knowledge cast at us by simply accepting it, sometimes not even consciously, which seems understandable when observing the history of mankind. Our tendency to move on and survive can overrule taking the time to think and question an idea. It is the duty of a philosopher, and therefore a citizen of democracy, to question and weigh the media we consume with our own research, even ideas from the opposing realms of thought to those that we believe. Which may seem rough. It's always hard to listen to the people you disagree with, no matter how extreme you think they are. But as soon as we think we know the solution to an issue, or we think we are the wiser, we lose footing, and we also lose an idea of what problems that solution may cause. And by understanding our enemy, so to say, in the political realm or the realm of thought, is to understand their footing and where they came from, can give you a broader idea of the concept of the problem you're talking at in the first place, and can give you an even better idea of how to approach it than when you were just hearing what you heard from the media or the team that you adhered to at the time. An article, a book, any knowledge may be valid to the person receiving it, but that does not make it true. For example, there are 6 sheep on a hill. A shepherd stands on one side of the hill. He can see 4 sheep. It is fair and valid for him to believe that there are 4 sheep on a hill. Perhaps this belief is beneficial to him. Upon further inspection of the hill, he would attain the truth of the quantity of sheep on the hill, that there are 6. However, that would take effort and time to find the truth, and in the busy, hard-working climate that we live in, many choose only to see 4 sheep. As I said, it is valid. It is valid that he sees 4 sheep. But the other 2 are hidden, and this goes for so many things. It's valid to think a certain view because of what you heard, but if you do the digging yourself, see where this research comes from, do some research yourself, you might find there are more sheep than originally thought. We can relate this to anything, any form of media, and particularly politics, and see how easily swayed the masses can be by seemingly valid rhetoric that can in fact be untrue or bad for the world. So the next time you learn something, or someone states a truth, without being argumentative or rude, why not question it for the sake of good discussion and integrity in ideas and politics? As scholars are debating, and it is rumored that Plato once recorded Socrates saying that I am wise because I know nothing, but I am wise because I know what I do not know. This is known as dogmatic skepticism in philosophy. That is, if you begin with humility and acknowledge your gaps in knowledge, and on that basis we can know. That is to say that if you feign naivety and you think perhaps I could be wrong, you double guess your idea when having a conversation with someone, it gives this fruitfulness of thought. As hard as it is to think that you are right in any instances, and as much as it takes to fight that feeling, it can give you a broader mind and a more elegant form of conversation when it comes to so many people, a kind of patience and mindfulness that is a great attribute of any philosopher and person. Socrates is saying that by accepting that he knows nothing in this form, that he can always learn from someone else, consider new thoughts, and talk to anyone to come closer to a truth. If one has accepted a fact and believes something to be true, then in their mind the thought needs no more consideration. This is a dangerous reality of how the human mind works. It loves efficiency. And it can result in you casting aside an entire demographic or group of people just because of their beliefs. You think, oh, I'm not going to talk to those guys. Those guys think X, Y, and Z, and they're evil. And although their beliefs may be bad in your eyes, or morally unjust, sometimes changing them through force, or deciding to make them your enemy and put them on the other side of the fence is if anything is going to galvanize their reason to continue carrying out their ideas. Whereas if you treat them as any other person and consider their thoughts, you will be in a better place to then speak of the opposing thought and the broader scenario that you may see. That's not to say that sometimes rash action is not necessary, but if you live by the sword, you will die by the sword, and one should always take these steps before writing off anyone, and if at all, should never do so. They are your brethren and sisters, after all. If I wholeheartedly believe that vegetables are bad for me because I do not like them, and I'm going to have a hard time having a good philosophical discussion about vegetables with a dietitian. Questioning our own ideas and beliefs does not mean giving up your faiths, dreams, or ideals, but simply entertaining discussions on something you might not agree with, to potentially learn something new, make a new friend where you might have once seen an enemy, or to further integrity and open-mindedness in the world. As far as people go, it is not what they are that interests me, but what they can become. John Paul Sartre. Our philosophers for today were John Paul Sartre and Socrates. There are many of their texts that you can read. I highly suggest the book for today is Gorgias. It's a book on rhetoric with Plato and Socrates, where they discuss how a speaker can sway crowds. Next volume, we'll be talking about society and how it feels to be in certain social environments and your effect that you can have on them. And that is it for Philosophy Cafe today. Stay tuned for more updates. You can follow us, the Regicide Collective, on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and our website at www.theregicidecollective.com, or the Regicide Collective Facebook and YouTube. This article was originally published in Letter from Melbourne by Affairs of State magazine. The Regicide Collective is not politically aligned or ideologically aligned with this business. The website is currently undergoing maintenance and will be fixed soon. There are a lot of updates going on in Regicide at the moment. The demo for Regicide is finally on the way. We have a new developer team, and we're working on a web series, and there's a lot of content to come. So please stay tuned, and always, thank you for thinking.